Hello, my name is Craig Nash. We'd like to welcome you to another It's a Grand Life, and you are absolutely going to be blessed today. Our guest is Dr. Walter Cukrowski from Michigan Eyecare Institute here in Southeast Michigan, and he is going to talk about everything regarding your eyes. When we started to become grand families in raising these little ones, we started to have a different view of life. We know we have to look at everything like much younger because Lord willing, we have to be here long enough to take care of these young ones. And Doctor, thank you so much for being our guest here on It's a Grand Life. It's just a privilege to have you.
It's a pleasure to be with you on this podcast, and I thank you for having me.
And your background is so interesting, and especially when you think about folks running a grand family. Most of our listeners are seniors. I would imagine most of your patients are seniors, correct?
Yes, they are. My average patient's around 75 years young.
Well, I think you could really help our patients enter into the personal discussion of when do I see a vision professional, and when do I start thinking about cataracts and some of the other things that may impact my ability to raise my grandchild? So can you give us a little bit about your background, doctor, and then just tell us your ideal patient and that type of thing, and as we begin our discussion here. Thanks so much.
Most definitely, yes. I was born on a military base actually down in Florida. My dad is an ophthalmologist trained at Cukrowski Eye Institute here in Michigan. So I grew up seeing eye conditions and eye disorders my whole life. So I wanted so badly to follow my dad's footprints and ended up getting my training over at William Bowman Hospital here in Royal Oak, Michigan. It's an incredible experience with work with some of the best ophthalmologists around who trained and basically put their whole life and energy into getting me to be the person that I am, along with people around the country, along with people around the world too, that have invested in me to be a blessing to my patients. To answer your question about what's the best time or most appropriate time to come in, of course, when we're in our younger years, if the grandparents or the parents see that any of the children are having like crossed eyes or wandering eye or what have you, it's always best to try to get that patient in with the doctor as soon as possible. A lot of times you can even see it in newborns where the eyes are not straight and not tracking or what have you. But the most opportune time for the little ones is try to get them in way before age 8 if there's any wandering eye or lazy eye or eye that just doesn't seem to be tracking, because there's so many things that can be done to hopefully correct that. As far as the people that are like older, like the people that I see, it's just most definitely important for them to do preventative eye care, where they come in, just get their eyes checked, even if they're seeing great, just to check everything, because all of us have like a family history of other conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, what have you, along with some people have ocular issues in their family like cataracts or glaucoma or retina detachment. So it's just a good idea just to get a good eye exam. So prevention is key, just to come on in, get your eyes checked, see if you need any reading glasses or any distance glasses, what have you, but just get them checked. And hopefully 90+% of the time we won't find anything, and we see it every year or so to make sure everything is good.
Now, does your practice get involved in glasses or anything like that, or you're just primarily a surgical practice?
Oh, good question. Yes, we do have a heavy optometric practice because there's so many people that have come to us since 1972. The practice was originally started by William Myers. So we've been handling glasses and contact lenses since then. So we do have a lot of people just come in and see our optometrists. We have two awesome optometrists here, Dr. Roman Goldvet and also Dr. Jody Gordon, who handles our optometric, which is a big part of our practice. So we can help anybody who needs any glasses or contacts or just need a good vision exam.
So you do see the whole family?
Yes, most definitely. Like in our Flint office, we'll have people come in and sometimes they bring their whole family, and you end up seeing like 5 to 7 people at once, changing the chair, changing the chart, reintroducing yourself. So it's actually a family affair, and it's an awesome experience for them and hopefully an awesome experience for our staff and myself.
Well, I'm thinking now of the changing environment that we're living in and what have you. And are there any environmental factors that affect vision care?
Yes, most definitely. Right now with um uh the pollution that we're having, the fires that we're experiencing that are coming over from Canada, it's causing a lot of irritation and pain in the eye, along with um you know the possibility of increasing cataracts with the pollution, and also too a lot of people do wear sunglasses, but then there's a fair amount of people that don't. So that's where prevention comes in. It's so key to make sure that people are doing all the most appropriate things for preventative eye care, which would include wearing sunglasses, taking eye vitamins appropriate for their age, making sure that they're getting all the antioxidants in their body. Most definitely, if it's affordable for all of us, because it can get very expensive, is organic eating, where you're eating things that are not processed and with a lot of preservatives and everything, because that affects the whole body, especially the eyes.
Oh, that is just great information. I didn't even think of that. And what about sun? Is the sun bad on the eyes?
Yes, most definitely. We get most of our sun exposure to our eyes 80% before we're age 18. So the sooner we can get those sunglasses on those little kids, the better. And most definitely, too, if anyone smokes, it's so important for them to stop smoking, because secondhand smoke is so bad on anybody around them, but also smoking is so damaging to the eye, too.
Now, doctor, are you seeing the same type of problem with folks that use vapes, or is it different? And because that seems to be
Good.
really popular now. We're replacing the cigarettes with the vape uh, device. Does that affect the vision as well?
Excellent question. Anyone who's vaping, of course, we're so concerned about their lung health, because there was someone within the last 5 years who needed a lung transplant for the vape damage that it did to their lungs. So anytime you're inhaling anything that could be deleterious to the lung or any other part, it's definitely, most definitely affecting the eyes. So if one can, Lord willing, stop the vape, get accountability partners, what have you, whatever you can do to just stop it and move forward and never look back.
That is so important. And you have a full, eye care section at your practice at the Michigan Eye Care Institute, so you would be able to prescribe the right type of sunglasses depending on the patient's condition, right? There's not just one type that fits all, I would imagine.
Most definitely. What we would do, like, let's say you were coming in, we would definitely do a full, complete eye exam, make sure that there's nothing going on that could hinder your vision whatsoever. And then, of course, do an optometric exam separately to find out specifically what prescription you need, because each eye individually is like a thumbprint. No one in the world is as unique and gracious and beautiful as you. So we basically do a specific exam on you. So those glasses are particularly made just for you. So there's a possibility no one else in the world might be able to see out of them except for you.
We've got quite a creator, don't we? That's just absolutely
Yes.
amazing. And but let's start to talk about a little bit about the patients that are probably our listeners. The folks that are 65 plus here. They're raising their grandkids. They're part of a grand family. And when should they start thinking about cataracts? I know you kind of specialize in that in your practice, and you made a comment off air that was just so important, I thought, to share with our listeners about how cataracts change the older we get. So can you spend a little time on that?
Most definitely. Yes, I would say like our ordinary cataract patient that comes in who is complaining of like difficulty driving at night, difficulty reading their books, Bibles, or magazines, even difficulty reading the ticker tape on the TV. Most definitely. Those are like the top 3 reasons people come and seek our attention. And they're very concerned because they would like to be able to see and do all the things that they want to do. So it's just a good idea to just come in, get examined, check to see how bad or how good their eyes really are. And of course, see if they meet the strict criteria to consider the possibility of having their cataracts removed. A lot of times people just come in and just the preventative care, getting them a good pair of polarized sunglasses, updating their glasses to the best of our ability, and of course, avoiding secondhand smoke, and if they have any diabetes, keeping their sugar controlled, their high blood pressure, of course. But just most of the time when people come in, they just need just a normal eye exam to check. But if indeed they have those problems, there's something we can definitely do in order to really improve their sight.
Now, has the technology changed over the past 5-10 years regarding cataract surgery? Are you doing things differently than you were when you started out in your practice many years ago?
Yes, most definitely. First of all, the intraocular lenses, the lens that we place in your eye, keep getting better and better every 3 to 5 years. But we have lens technology where we can get you out of glasses at least 80% of your time, where you don't have to pick up a magnifying glass or put on any external glasses. So the technology continues to get better, sharper, and greater, where people get to the point where they're almost crying because they can see so much better. And it's as if they were seeing like when they were in their 20s. So it's really exciting and so much fun as a physician to just see how the Lord can bless people and really change their life. And most definitely with the technology, the risk rate has gone down, where 99+% of people that have these surgeries don't have any complications, which is incredible. Because when you look back 30 plus years ago, people would get their cataracts removed, be in the hospital for like 2 weeks, have to have sandbags to hold their head. Now it's a 4 to 15 minute procedure.
Oh, and no hospitalization?
No hospitalization. Granted, compared to what Jesus can do, I mean, we're getting better. We're getting better. But the way he did it, mud and spittle, hey, that was over in probably like 30 seconds.
But he had no copay or anything like that.
That's right. That's right. He just did it because he just loves everybody and cares about him. We definitely are a faith-based practice, and we definitely, when there's an opportunity and the Holy Spirit leads, we definitely like to share Christ with people. We also like to direct people to know that Jesus is the ultimate ophthalmologist, not me.
That's absolutely great. It's now we have listeners all over the country that listen to our program. It's a Grand Life, and we're trying to provide just subject matter experts like yourself to address health concerns and legal concerns and judicial concerns, what have you, that they may be wrestling with as they're trying to navigate this new environment of running a grand family. Are there different concerns for our listeners in Tennessee or Las Vegas or Colorado regarding their vision care than that you would have for folks in Southeast Michigan?
Yes, a lot of the people that live in different areas around the country, they have different difficulties and problems, especially the people that are like living in Florida, where they're being exposed to so much UV. The cataracts are so much more prominent there. And of course, everybody's face, that would be incredible to just help them with the prevention. But unfortunately, the reality is a lot of people aren't wearing the sunglasses like they should. So there are different things. Also, too, in certain parts of the country, too, because of the economics and everything, lack of health care, lack of even the ability to go see the doctor, let alone having the $2 or $4 for the bus fare. So there's still a big need for people to get ophthalmology care. And it's just so most important that they do. And I know whoever is listening out there, there are people that, like myself, who are trying to do everything they can to help those people because there's such a need.
And you and I were talking about this off the air. If someone had any vision concerns and they were in Oklahoma or Las Vegas and they didn't have a practitioner that they worked with in their state, they could call your office and you could even refer them, right?
Most definitely. We work very closely with the American Academy of Ophthalmology, and we most definitely offer them to come. Just to give an example, we had a lady who flew in from Mexico in the last couple weeks just to get her cataracts out. Then she stayed for post-op care, and then she told me, she goes, well, I'm going back to Mexico. I don't know if you're going to see me again. Let's take a picture together. And I was kind of blown away, and I was grateful, but it was really nice that she did. But there are a lot of awesome Christian ophthalmologists across the country that are willing to do whatever it takes to help their patients.
And you mentioned you had a patient come to see you as far as from China.
Yes, that blew my mind because there's so many good people out there. I mean, there's a guy in Japan who actually trained me with my cataract technique, along with so many other people, countless others. And there are places that they could have gone closer, but I was so grateful she came and saw me. And then she eventually moved to Michigan, and now we're seeing her on a regular basis once a year.
It's just the world's getting smaller all the time, isn't it?
It's most definitely, most definitely.
Well, if you just tuned into It's a Grand Life, our guest today has been Dr. Walter Cukrowski. He is from the Michigan Eyecare Institute, located right here in Southfield, Michigan, Livonia, Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan, and they have another office up in Flint. The best way to find out about this outstanding practice is to go to misheyecare.com, or you could call their office at 248-352-2806. And a doctor is a resource for all of our listeners. If you have questions or you have concerns, call their office and they will either connect you to the finest practitioner in your area, or they will try and assist you any way they can. And before we came on the air today, we just realized that we are old family friends, that the doctor's sister and myself have known each other for many years, and it's the smallest world, as you know. But he is very concerned about grand families and making sure that you get the eye care so those little ones at home don't have to worry about grandma and grandpa seeing them as we age in place. So, Doctor, before I let you go today, do you have any success stories you'd like to share with our audience, or any 2 or 3 recommendations that are your absolutes for optimum eye care for our It's a Grand Life audience?
Yes. One thing is we see a fair amount of people that have such dense cataracts, like many of the ones that we've seen, because over the years, since 1994, when I was introduced to doing cataract missionary work, we're actually seeing a lot of those patients in our office, especially in our, our Dearborn office, along with our Flint office too, which we see these cataracts that are probably the most dense cataracts you'll see even outside in the mission field there. And It's just so exciting to see these people's reaction to go for just seeing light to seeing your face. And then, of course, I always ask him if I look a little thinner after I took the cataract out. Some people are truly honest and say, "Hey, you need to lose a few pounds." But but it's just so exciting just to be involved with something like that, where the person's life is just changing forever, which is incredible. And I'm just so thankful to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for being there, meeting me. One of my heroes of the ophthalmology group is a guy named Jim Gills, who's not practicing anymore. And at his office, he actually has a picture where Jesus is putting his hands on his hands. And it's incredible, because as a surgeon, you want to do no harm, but you just want people to come out so great and be so happy. It's not about 20/20 vision. It's about 20 happy, and you want to hear that. So there's been countless other people too, since doing these cataracts for now, 26 to 29 years. So I could probably spend days going over with you, but it's such a delight to see that you can be used of God to bless somebody and help them visually.
When is the absolute earliest that a potential patient should come and see you if they think they're heading down that cataract pathway? How soon do you want to see them, doctor?
Yes, I would say if you're having any kind of visual distortion or any difficulty, or if you're actually checking one eye versus the other, it's called the one-hand salute, where you're looking at something, right, just to come on in and get checked, because it might be as easy as just getting you some glasses, considering the contact lenses. Of course, most importantly, preventative eye care is most important to come in. But I would say anytime they experience something like that, I would definitely call and come on in, and we could take a look at you. At our practice, we have people that are glaucoma specialists, cataract specialists, retina specialists, cornea specialists. We also have the optometric arm of the practice. So we hope to be able to care for anybody's needs. Also, most importantly, God forbid if we see something unbelievably wrong, like I can think of a lady who we diagnosed had a melanoma in the back of their eye. Fortunately, we're able to get her to the best specialist in the Midwest. And thankfully, she's doing really well. She's still seeing out of her eye, and she's still breathing and happy with her life. So we do see those extreme cases too, and we're happy to be a part of the care of getting them to the right people.
Absolutely. But if I hope our listeners have picked up that the sooner the better with any cataract issues, because they do get calloused and they're a little tougher to deal with. And but you can, and in 4 minutes, you said you could have a life-changing experience with the latest surgical technology that's available. So, Doctor, thank you so much for being our guest here on It's a Grand Life. We hope you'll come back again and update us on any new technology, any new procedures, any environmental concerns, or anything we need to be aware of so we can be in optimal health as we chase these grandkids around the house. So thank you so much. I just really appreciate it. And if you want to get in touch with Dr. Cukrowski, by all means, call his office, 248-352-2806. Or check out their website for a plethora of information, MishEyecare.com. And thank you so much for being our guest on It's a Grand Life.
Thank you. God bless you, young man.
Thank you for joining us for another It's a Grand Life. Remember to never waste your pain. God can use your situation to bless others even halfway around the world. Be sure and subscribe to It's a Grand Life on our Facebook page, as well as YouTube and any of the various podcast channels that feature the Grand Life podcast. When it comes to raising a grand family, remember the words of the Apostle Paul, who said in 1 Corinthians 13, "Love is patient, love is kind, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails." In leading your grand family, it's going to take faith, hope, and a whole lot of love. Please reach out to me. I can be a blessing to you and pray for you, or help you connect to free resources that can make your journey a little easier.